Build smart, move fast, get the edge at last. This is the catalyst.
You are listening to The Catalyst, the podcast by the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Small Business Resiliency Series, brought to you by Don Temple Storage, Wells Fargo, Dignity Health St. Mary's Medical Center, Hyatt Regency Hotel, Intertrend, and Crown Castle.
And welcome back to The Catalyst. This is another edition of the Small Business Resiliency Series put on by the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Stuart Takehara. I'm the Vice President of Memberships here at the Chamber. And today, I am very excited to welcome to the program the owner, founder, CEO, president, janitor, and everything else that you can ever imagine with the Alley Cat Deliveries, Mr. Robb Smith himself. Robb, welcome to The Catalyst. So excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stuart. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for asking me to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you on because I know you're going to have some really great insight as to what we're talking about here. So for those who do not know, what is Alley Cat Deliveries?
So Alley Cat is your personal errand service, right? You don't have time for groceries. I got to pick up dry cleaning. I need to go get a gift for my son or daughter's birthday, Christmas shopping, airport shuttle, logistics for restaurants and small business. I always say the answer is no unless you ask. We've been called to do numerous things, some things I've never done before, like kill wasps. Hey, Robb, I have wasp nests all over my house. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. Hey, Robb, I'm locked out of my house. Can you help me out? Change a doorknob. We get a plethora of things that keep us on our toes, you know? I never know what's going to happen when I answer the phone. Sometimes I'm on Gabriel Iglesias' private jet delivering his birthday cake. Sometimes I'm in Calabasas delivering an art piece for Kylie Jenner. It's amazing to wake up every day and never know what's going to happen when I pick up the phone.
You know, the same business. Hey, I need to deliver a gift for which Jenner did you say it was?
Kylie Jenner needed a birthday present for Travis Scott, and so we picked up.
So you're getting a call like that. You're getting a call like that, and at the same time, you're getting a call for, hey, man, can you go and kill this wasp nest for me?
Yeah. Like, you know, we've even got silly stuff like, hey, my cat's sick. Can you take us to go put it down? And we'll show up. It's not like our normal thing to do, but we've done it. You know, if you look at any of our reviews on Facebook, Google, Yelp, there's nothing under 5 stars. I take it very personal. And that's what we're about. We're a personal service to the community and to the person that calls us.
So how long has Alley Cat been in business?
So we just hit 7 years at the beginning of May. We've been doing this for 7 years. I started this off on a bike. You know, after my divorce, I was working for Postmates and started off on a bike with food. And COVID happened, which was very hard for everybody, but it really blew us up. And I was so thankful for our community supporting us. And we were going nuts with people staying in at home. And I'm driving in the streets and it was a ghost town, which that part was kind of cool to see, like, I'm the only one on the road. But, you know, 7 years blows my mind to see how far we've come and that we're still able to stand by the love and grace of our community to keep us going.
You know, that's amazing because you've been through the COVID eras. You've come through stronger. But, you know, COVID being now, I don't want to say a thing in the past because I don't want to jinx anything and go back into another pandemic. But you've moved from one kind of really hard time in business being COVID into kind of the era and the business climate that we're at right now. I'm going to assume that you as a delivery service do a little bit of driving every day. And now with gas prices at $6, $7 or more, I mean, that's got to be really, really hitting you pretty hard.
It is tough. You know, I lose probably about one airport a day. You know, it's $120 just for a half a tank in our truck. And I haven't raised prices, you know, in 2 years because I really want to stay focused that we're affordable and we're for the people. But at the end of the day, I still got to take care of my family and still support the community because 20% of our sales goes to Feed, Clothe, and House directly in Long Beach. And that could be a phone call from hey, Robb, I need help with my rent. Hey, Robb, do you think we get some milk and eggs or we need some meat? You know, we allocate 20% of our sales and it's getting tough, you know, to keep saying, hey, we're going to be there because we can't be there all the time for everybody with every need, but we're there most of the time. And to see gas prices and people watching their pockets, you know, airport shuttles is pretty much our bread and butter. We take you to LAX, John Wayne, Long Beach, and Burbank. but I see the dip in decline of people even traveling right now.
Why do you think that's just all fuel cost related, or do you think that there's a bigger reason
I think
behind
the
that?
economy is hurting right now, honestly. I think people don't have the extra to go out to travel or use us for an extra expense. You know, you look at the grocery food cost, 6 bags is $200. And we see that, we do grocery deliveries too. Costco, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, the stuff the big guys can't touch. But what people don't realize, and I haven't really figured this one out in the age of apps that are taking from small business that have high commission sales, that have high fees. And we've been in the game. We don't charge the business anything at all. Just say, hey, let's all support each other because I believe we should all win. But for people to stop using those apps and really support local, to really support our own backyard and keep our dollars here. Anyone could call Uber, but the driver's not getting most of the money, the corporate is. And I know that because I used to do it for $5 a delivery on my bike. And I just think the hardest thing is for people knowing we're here because we're all word of mouth and we have a good following, but to try to change people's mind to why it's so important to support local than the big chain apps, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Well, they definitely have that name recognition, and it's that, oh, I'm going to DoorDash it or I'll Instacart it or whatever. And they think just because they're buying from a local business that they're still supporting local, but that's not always the case.
No, because the fees, the small business, they could be charged by Postmates, Uber Eats, or Grubhub or DoorDash 40%, up to 40% of sale, plus all the markups and fees. So 2 years ago, I stopped doing food. It just wasn't profitable. Hey, Rob, I want a number one at In-N-Out on a Friday night. That's going to take me 45 minutes to drive over there, sit there in line, go to your house, and you're going to call and say, hey, my fries are cold. I can't help it. So we do caterings. We do a lot with the chancellor's office. We do a lot with Cal State. They place the order, we pick it up, we deliver it, we charge a fee, and businesses keep 100% of profits. I just really think that's how it should be ran. But so we have all the Holy Moly accounts in Long Beach. We have Pita Pataki, Modica's, and Pie Bar. Long Beach Creamery heavily supports us with her logistics Wednesday through Saturday. For the last 3 years, we move her ingredients from Bixby to downtown, and the ice cream that they made goes to Bixby, and we're behind that. I get up every morning at 5 a.m., sometimes earlier, to get in there and get out before employees even show up. And that's what I see small businesses in Long Beach get the bigger pictures. Like, hey, Rob's here, let's use him. Blair Cohn at Bixby Knolls. Intertrend, we do all the Long Beach Walls production, whatever they need moved. So, I'm grateful for that, but on a wider scale, let's just keep it home and in our backyard on who we support.
That's just a great philosophy. It's one that the chamber tries to support all the time, working locally, working with members and supporting the local community. That's how the communities get strong and stay strong.
Mm-hmm. Especially now when we see small businesses closing.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of this resiliency series is about how small businesses are adapting to the current trends. And so we talked about how high fuel prices is costing you an additional $120 a day, to put a half a tank of gas into your car. How are you getting around that? Or is that just a cost you're able to eat right now? Because that's a lot.
It's not that I'm able to eat that cost. I just gotta pinch a little bit myself. Sundays I take off. I try to take off, but Sundays I don't want to drive anywhere. I really don't. If I could take one day off not to drive, I really take that opportunity. But I'm just trying to pivot, and we've been pivoting the last 7 years.
What are some of the other ways that you've had to pivot your business in the past that's either worked out for you or maybe it didn't have the kind of results that you were hoping it would?
I think that's going to go back to food. I really thought we would catch on. My first account was Pie Bar, and we would do like slices of pie, and then we got Fourth Horseman. We had 13 restaurants, and I was getting a phone call over here. I was getting a phone call over here. I couldn't be everywhere at once, and I realized I couldn't control it. So that's when I stopped, not saying working with the restaurant. I didn't want to be on call anymore. You guys call me. And then after a while, it was going a little silent. And then I was just like, food delivery is not worth it. Hey, you got a high rise downtown. I got to look for parking. I got to come up to the 13th floor. And then I realized I'm spending way too much time than it's worth for $7 or $8.
Mm-hmm.
So then we just said, hey, let's do catering. And that's what we do.
So when you realize it's not worth your time for $7 or $8, did you think maybe maybe it might be worth my time for like $15 or $20? But that just becomes unfeasible.
So that's the other hurdle of that's the other flip of the coin that I'm seeing. I'll get a phone call for an airport. I'll say the price, and my prices always stay the same unless you get me up before 6 a.m. and I got to pick you up after 11 at night. But they'll be like, "Well, Uber charges. Well, Lyft charges. I'm not Uber. I'm not Lyft. I'm a personal car service." And trying to have people know your worth, like especially new customers, once they try it, then they get it and understand. Oh, I see. We called you up at 4:30 a.m. and you were here at 4:20. It's
Mhm.
different from that. And it's always me. You're not getting a stranger. And I think that's what people like. They know me in the community. They see what we do. They say, "Oh, I know that guy." And they feel more trustworthy. So it takes a little bit to break that. But there's sometimes when I'll put that in text and then it goes silent.
Yeah. We talked about fuel costs being a big hurdle in your business. What are some of the other things right now that's keeping you up at night?
Honestly, the last couple months is just awareness. Sales haven't been as strong as they were in the past, and that's where I feel like the economy is taking a pinch on everyone's pocket. But we're scraping by barely by the end of the month to pay all our bills. But I always stress out about it, and then by the time rent's due, I'm okay, and and it covers it. But I see the decline a little bit of our sales, and I think that's
Mhm.
because a lot of people are hurting right now. They don't have the extra to go out and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's go do this," or "Hey, let's call Rob." Yeah.
Is that a conversation you've had with your clients? Whether they're restaurants or bars or whatever, that you're
I
seeing a
haven't because
decrease in volume?
no, because I talked to other businesses and small businesses in town, and they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing a decline in people coming out or supporting. And that's what makes me think on a bigger map that it's not just my business, it's a lot of businesses that could really use support right now. I think a lot of people are hurting in small business with food costs, fuel costs, and minimum wage, leasing. I think it's a bigger picture than just one thing. I think a lot of small businesses right now are struggling with all those things.
So because we're talking about small businesses here, not necessarily the consumer side, but the small business side, what can a small business do, to stay afloat? We know that one wrong move could be the end of the business entirely. One bad decision, and even that decision could be doing nothing at all. It could be catastrophic.
I think a lot, like I've seen two businesses lately pivot, change their names, and put on a new menu. I think people are trying to figure out what to do next, how to bring the crowd into the latest and greatest thing, how to pivot your business and still stay relevant when we have tacos everywhere, we have pizza and beer everywhere. How do you stand different to be like, "Hey, I want to go there"? I think that's what a lot of businesses are trying to do is pivot to be like a fresh new start and say, "Hey, look at we're still here, but we have a new item, we have a new menu, or we're offering a new type of delivery."
In a previous episode of the Small Business Resiliency Series, I was talking with somebody and they laid it out like this for me. And I'm just kind of curious as to your take, because this one really stuck with me. They said, Long Beach is a city of 500,000 people. We got 500,000 people here. But when you look at the demographics of Long Beach, there might be only maybe 100,000 people that actually have the means and the wherewithal to be able to go out and eat out regularly, to spend locally, that has the discretionary income to be able to support small businesses like yours or mine and a lot of the others that are out there. And so that's not enough. The 100,000 people that actually have discretionary funds to go out and spend locally, even if they were all spent locally, is just still not enough to keep all of the businesses, all the small businesses in business here in Long Beach. Would you say that that's fair, a fair assessment?
I would say that's fair, and that's why we're seeing the declining of businesses closing and not opening because there's not that support, and that's why I really try to drive home to support your backyard to give that. Oh, I didn't like how it was the first time when we ate there. Try it again. We all have our good days and bad days, but we're still here. We're still in the community, and your dollars support our community. And I think that's a real thing to hit home. It's just, you tried it once, try it again. And some people don't have the
Mhm.
means to do it, and that's okay. And some people have the means to do it, and they're going to Houston's. Don't go to Houston's, go to 555, go to Bixby Provisions. I don't know. But maybe think of the little guy once in a while.
Mhm. Why do you think that some businesses struggle while others of the same caliber or the same industry just really thrive right out of the gate? What do you think makes a business just like pop and be so magnetic and others just kind of so?
I think in this day and age, influencers, whatever that may be, the spotlight on new things like Do Fiore. I drove by there on Saturday and the line was out the door. People were lined up waiting to try the food. And I was like, wow, what are they? They're doing something right. Gusto bread. That's another one for bread. There's always a line out the door. And it could be marketing. It could be just hype. It could be a good product that people want. And I don't know. Some people have it and some people want to get there and all they need is that chance to be like, hey, just come use this once. And they're like, oh my gosh, these egg rolls were good. Oh my gosh, these tacos were really good. And that's why I say, give the little guy another chance.
Well, you've had great success in your business over the past 7 years. What do you attribute your success to?
I've always ran with people over profit. If someone can't, we took an old woman to her eye doctor appointment last week, and we picked her up at 10 a.m. and she didn't get done till 3. And normally that would be a big chunk of my time, which it was, but she could only afford what she could have afforded. And we said, okay, because sometimes it's not about the profit because I'll make it up somewhere else. I'll get that phone call like, hey, we need you. I'm like, perfect. That'll balance that out. But I think what's really got us really far is just being for the people, having good rapport, and knowing that we really do care. We really do show up for you. And that's how I could answer that question.
You're giving 20% of your sales to the community. You're discounting your services because that's all people can afford. You're giving all that you can. Like, it is just inspiring to hear what you're doing with all this. And there's one story as we're getting ready to close out I want to have you touch on. Last year, in January 2025, we had these massive fires going on in Palos Verdes and Altadena and stuff like that. And you got involved in some projects. So I'd love for you real quick, a minute or two, to share what you did and how you jumped in during that crisis. Because that's not a Long Beach thing, but it is a community thing, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole point of it. People are people, and that was really devastating. And how'd that happen? I was doing a delivery downtown LA, and when that first started going off, and there was an order for evacuations, and I was slow, so I said, hey, you know what? I put it out there on Facebook. I put in a couple threads, that Red Cross, and a couple other ones. Hey, we're going to offer free evacuations. I have a 6-foot bed truck. Let's use it. And so then we went to the Red Cross and saw that they were in need of donations. And then there was another place that I can't think of, the bike oven, I believe it's called. And they said, hey, we need resources. So I talked to Blair, and with Blair, Sean Moore, Louis Navarro, we turned the Expo Arts Center into a hub for donations. And I shut my whole business off for that whole month and a half to help out with the fires, collect donations, send trucks out to the Dream Center, to families in need in Pasadena, Altadena. My role was to help the minorities and smaller communities that didn't have the ways of means to gather the items that they needed. Lewis would pop up and make food. I would bring items with Duke Gibbons and Care Closet, who was another big person that helped out with that. And we just made it like a streamlined machine. And it even went as far as into me calling LBPD and asking for a favor to get a horse trailer to evacuate animals from ranches. And we were doing pigs, chickens, goats, horses, all kinds of animals. And I've never done that before. I've never hung out with a horse like that. And to be in the thick of things, you see the smoke, you see fire burning, and you're in this time crunch to get these animals out. That was insane to me. And I kind of miss that rush. I miss the adrenaline of all that. And, I thank God that I was there when they needed me to be, and I was able to shut down to do that, because I think that was the coolest part of our journey, besides making it 7 years, that we were able to help that many people just by deliveries. I had Amazon, no, who was it? Yeah, Amazon inbox me. Hey, Rob, we'll give you 6 trucks. I had Ethica inbox me. What do you need for clothes? Because I had Pasadena rugby team reach out to me hey, we lost everything in our lockers. Ethica gave me 4 or 5 pallets of athletic clothing, underwear, bras, pants, shirts, socks, and we gifted that to the community. And most of it went to Pasadena Rugby. And I was like, how did you just do that? And I don't know how I did it, but you never know who's watching you on your algorithms or Instagram or whatever. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, the reason why I brought it up is I was there at the Expo Arts Center doing the sorting of all the goods and all the and all the products that came in. And I remember I was there, and all of a sudden those Amazon trucks showed up, and these Amazon drivers, and they're like, "Where do you want us?" I'm like, "I have no clue." It's like, "Who are you? How did you get here? What is this?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, we got trucks to deliver," and I was like, "Holy smokes!" And so that was quite a thing, and it all just came together organically, naturally, and so quick too.
Yeah, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but we got the mission really well taken care of, and I'm really proud of that. I really am.
Yeah. Well, Rob, it is a such a privilege and a pleasure to have you as part of the Long Beach community. You
Thank
probably could
you.
have picked anywhere to go. We're so glad that you picked Long Beach and that you're here. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Robb Smith. He's a founder, CEO, president, driver, chauffeur, everything, CEO, chief everything officer of Alley Cat Deliveries. Rob, before I let you go here, just kind of curious, is there anything else that about your business or anything that you want to share with the audience, or advice to a small business owner who may be thinking about starting, or maybe someone's like, man, I just don't know if I could keep doing this? Do you have anything you want to say to them, or talk about anything
Yeah,
else that
I'm gonna
we
do a
may have
couple.
missed?
I
Yeah.
think if you're starting off a small business and you're scared, I'm a high school graduate. I've been on my own since I was 16. I took a small business class at GLBA. Even when you're scared, just go. Just get it, just do it. You take that next step forward. There's a lot of times I was scared. There's still some days that I am scared, but I can't tell you the feeling of getting that phone call and said, hey, such and such recommended you, or hey, we've heard a lot about you. We want to use you. That's what keeps me going. And I think the biggest admiration I have for Alley Cat Deliveries is it's about people first. And how can we help? I always say, hey, I'm Rob. How are you? What do you need? And to be that number one source in Long Beach, the multiple accolades that we've got, just the stories that we've heard and taken care of, I would have never experienced that if I didn't step forward. And the biggest thing that I could tell viewers is please support local, please support small, because the little guys are rallying for the same community you are. And if you give us that shot, you give us that support, it's a win-win for everybody. And I believe that we all should win.
Rob, thank you. Anything else before we go?
No, you can reach me at 310-529-4839. If you need anything,
I was just going to say that before we let you go. How do people get in contact with you? Give us that phone number one more time as soon as you're done chugging that soda.
310-529-4839. That's my cell phone. It's always me. You're not going to get a recording. Give us a call.
Cool. Rob, thanks so much for sharing your story and your insight and your experience here with everyone listening. I'm sure they appreciate it. We appreciate you being in this community. We appreciate your support with the chamber, and I know I'll be seeing you soon, again, really soon. So thank you, Rob, for everything.
Thank you. Thank you.